What's going on, guys? It's Lewis with Strictly Front Wheel Drive. Long time no see. Things have been very busy for me as far as work. Um, we started this Amazon job, so we've been cranking out concrete like no tomorrow. It's just been very busy, early morning starts. I haven't really had any time, any motivation to do anything. The Civic is parked. As you probably know, the axle snapped at the track.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Axle snapped at the track, so I'm still working on trying to get that out. I might have to take the whole tranny out, transmission, and try to get it out that way. But what I do have going on now is my engine. This is Ruben's engine. We got Ruben's GSR here. I just got done surfacing the deck here, as well as the head. I just used 400 grit sandpaper and a sanding block. Just a regular wet sand and dry sanding block. Made sure it was a nice flat one. And just some regular 400 grit AutoZone sandpaper. I just went back and forth on some of the spots where it was bad. I went forward and back. Same thing with hair. Just went back and forth, and it cleaned it up really nicely. Nice clean surface, smooth. This was the last piece of the puzzle here. He had to get these because when he got the engine, they didn't have it for some reason. So he ended up buying those. So now I'm just getting ready to put the head gasket on so I can mate the head with the block. I've read up a lot of people saying not to do this. It's not necessary, but I'm going to do it because it's the copper spray gasket material, whatever it is. It's a Cometic gasket, head gasket. I'm just going to spray it up just for an added protection, because it's better to be safe than sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give the head gasket a couple minutes to dry up, and then I'm going to put it on the block and get it on there, get the head on there. I do have ERP head studs here for it, brand new out the box. I'm going to throw those in as well, because he does plan on turboing it. Oh, I was mentioning I have a new project. This is my new project, what I've been working on the side. It's a Predator 212 engine. I custom made an exhaust for it. No internals yet. I plan on doing internals. The kit's like $300. I am getting my parts from Go Power Sports. They've been really helpful so far. This was an old Montgomery Ward frame. I had to get rid of the stupid shocks that I had here, and I just mocked up these plates here. I have to remake them because they're not really the right size on each side. I'm going to have my dad drill them at work, so that way I have the correct size and the length or whatever. But I ended up having to buy a whole new rim. This is a lawnmower tire, but it's going to work. I had to buy a whole new rim, new sprocket, and I got a brake disc here. So I'm just waiting on the bearings right now, because these bearings are shot to the point where it's causing the wheel to wobble a little bit on the axle, so that I can mock it up. I have a brand new chain here for it, and a brand new 420 clutch. I did have it running before on the old wheel and the old sprocket, but it was popping out. Chain was popping out because of the wheel. All my buddies have one. This is my buddy Glenn's. It's a Baja bike with the 212 also. It's exhaust on there. I did the governor delete on them so I can rev a lot higher. I'll just start it up for you guys here. See if I can start it up without too much of a hassle. So there's that. I just dropped my damn paint. Nice job. I gotta clean that up before it hardens up. But yeah, it's the second project I got going on. That was just one of the things I was just doing when I you know, with the little time that I did have. I've honestly been more frustrated over what happened to the Civic, so I've been like, I had no motivation at all to try to fix it, and I just need a break. The Civic's just been my main goal for so long, and I need a break. I need to step away from it. I need to find out more information on what's gonna help me improve further down the line, and most of all, figure out what the hell's gonna go on with that axle. I do plan on buying upgraded axles, but as of right now, the main goal is trying to get that axle out, because if I can't get that axle out, then it's going to be kind of an issue, because at that point I'm going to have to start looking for another transmission, and I don't want to do that because that differential that's in there cost me a pretty penny. So I need to come out. It needs to come out. I need to get it out. I just need some time to actually sit down and with a calm mind and get it done. But I'm gonna get to working on this. I think the gasket's almost dry there. Slap it all together, and I'll see you guys in a little bit when I got it all together. Alright guys, so right now I'm working on getting the head studs on. I'm just using an Allen wrench and a vise grip. Just bringing them down. These you don't have to tighten them too tight, just snug. I've seen some people actually torque these down. I've never heard of, or I've seen it, but I've never heard of anybody saying that you have to torque them. The paperwork that comes with it doesn't say you have to torque them. So I'm just gonna go snug and keep going. I got 3 left. Put the heads on, gaskets on, the pins are in, so it's aligned. The only other thing I have to do is paint the head. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit and just spray paint it like I did the block, so I can match for them. But other than that, the next step is put the cams on. He does not have GSR cams for whatever reason. All he has is the B18C1 cams. They came with the engine. He's gonna try to run it. If it doesn't run well, then we're just gonna have to figure something else out. But they did say they were close to I guess the B16 cams or something like that. So we're just gonna give it a shot. If it runs fine. Then we're gonna leave it. If not, then he's gonna have to search for some GSR cams or similar, and we're just gonna send it from there. So I'll get back to you guys when I'm torquing them down. Alright guys, back. I got the all the nuts on with the washers. The instructions say to put some of the assembly lube on the washers and the nuts. I've done that, and also on the threads. So all that's good. I've just screwed them down until they touched. In case you guys are wondering, it's a 13 12-point socket that you use. 13 millimeter 12-point. Fits on the nuts. So I'm just going to follow the order here. It says to follow the sequence of the order to tighten them down. And the torque spec is 80. So it says 3 equal steps. So I'm going to go 50, 65, and then I'm going to go 80. Back to where I was talking about earlier. It says screw studs in, hand tight only. This is where it said it right here. And then it has a note that if you're going to permanently leave the studs in the block, you can use Loctite, and then you have to torque them before the Loctite sets. So that's probably why I saw somebody torque them, and they said to torque them, maybe they were just gonna leave the studs in there. So I mean, obviously the studs are gonna stay in this block, but who knows, he might take them out. I don't know. I'm just doing what he's telling me to do. I'm not gonna go ahead and Loctite them and torque them. I don't see any reason to. It's not necessary. He's not boosting anytime soon. This engine's probably going to be apart sometime, so I'm not really going to worry about that. So I'm going to go ahead and start torquing these. Like I said, I'm going to do 50, 65, and then 80 for the final torque. One thing you have to do is once the engine's on and it's warmed up, after it goes through a couple heat cycles, they recommend rechecking the torque. I will do that after the first oil change. We'll take it back apart and we'll retorque them and make sure they're all good. So I'm just going to go ahead, simply follow the sequence. I'm going to torque them all down, and the head's going to be on and ready to go, ready for the cams and the rest of the assembly. Thank you. All right, guys, so this is the final torque. I've already did my first two rounds, torque sequence rounds. This is the last one. It's going to be 80. I just wanted to show you guys, maybe you've never torqued a head bolt before, ARP head stud or whatever, or if you've never torqued down anything, never used a torque wrench. When you torque, you want to go one smooth motion. You don't want to, so you want to kind of set yourself up to where you can maneuver around the engine stand. That way you can keep even pulling all the way around until it snaps. So I'll try to demonstrate that. I'm going to start on number 1. Actually, I'll leave it right here. I'll leave the camera here. That way I don't mess myself up. So you should be able to see there. So you want to go one smooth motion. So you want to set yourself up to where if you're halfway through the torque, you don't have to stop. You want to just keep going. So I usually just put my foot on the engine, because 80 is pretty hard. So you just keep going. Go, set yourself up, and torqued. So then just keep doing that all the way. I'll do another one. It's very important that you stop. Once you feel the click, you don't want to go over that click. Once you feel the click, it'll give. And just stop right there. You don't want to go over, because then you're going to be over torquing at that point, and then you're just going to have to take it all apart and do it again. So that's the torquing part of it. I'm on number 2. I'm going to keep going, 3, 4, all that, and then I'll get back to you once I'm done with that and getting ready for the cams. What's going on, guys? Back at you again. Just show you what my progress is like. Got Glenn here with me today. Right now I'm just scraping the silicone. I guess the last person that had this engine, they use silicone all over the end caps, and that's really just a hack way of doing things. Just get the new seals. I mean, put new cam seals in there. I just wanted to point out a couple things when you're putting these the cams in. I had to use my compressor to get the camshaft bolts out. And I changed the new seals. I got new seals here. Tightened them down with Loctite on the cam bolts. The cams themselves, I made sure to use assembly lube on all the journals and the caps as well. Don't forget on the VTEC B series, they have these O-rings here with the it's a pin that goes in the middle. It's very important not to forget that. Also, when you're putting the cams on, you want to make sure the crank is at top dead center, lined up with the mark. And the cams, I have them somewhat lined up. The line is here on this one, and the line is here on that one. Once everything's torqued down, I'll be able to turn it and adjust it. But as for now, I just got them close, so that way it doesn't take that far of a way to turn them. I'm just gonna keep getting the caps on. I gotta finish cleaning these. These are the last 2 that have to go on. I'm gonna finish cleaning them, get them on, get the plates on, get the bolts in, and then torque those down, and then that should be it. Aside from the timing belt's next, and then it'll be time for the valve cover and the gaskets and all that stuff, and then she should be pretty much done. Oil filter needs to get changed, obviously. I did take these the plugs in the back out. He's gonna run AN line to a catch can, so we deleted the whole stock catch can stuff. But as far as the engine, the heads torqued down and all that stuff, it's all basically all done now. It's mostly all done. There's just a couple more things, and she should be ready to ship. I'll get back to you once I get the rest of the caps on. All right, we're on the final process here. It's all done. Just move all this stuff to the side. Let me show you guys. This is the final product. I'm gonna be probably letting them borrow the DC headers that I have, so we can fire it up. It's missing a stud here, but we'll take it off another engine or something. But it's all done. It's all torqued up. It's all painted up. Looks good. This is a used distributor. I'm not sure if it's gonna work. I know he needs a seal for the VTEC solenoid because it was flat. I'm just gonna tell him to get a new one, and we're missing the cap for over here. But I think he has one at home. The intake he has, it's got extended studs on here for whatever reason. They probably were using an aftermarket intake. But we have those. He's probably got all the hardware and stuff. I'm not going to worry about none of that. All this plumbing and stuff we'll do once it's in. But I turned it over. It's all timed up. I turned it over. It's making compression. You can hear the exhaust puff out of each hole. So we're good on that. The next step is to fire it up, put it in the car, and try to fire it up. The crank pulley's all torqued down. The tensioner's torqued down. I think it's all set. There's the hole here for the crankcase ventilation for the stock catch can that has to get plugged up. We'll plug that up for him. But other than that, it's all set. If anybody's wondering, this was the Blackworks kit for the external catch can. He needs a new temp sensor here. But other than that, it's all set. Like I said, it's all good. Everything's torqued down. He's gonna be coming to pick it up tomorrow, and then from there we're basically sorry the fucking light. From there we're basically just gonna throw it in. We're gonna put the harness on, get as much of the sensors and stuff we can hook up from there, and from there, we're gonna hook up the rest of the sensors that we can, and get the intake on, get the exhaust all set up, and get it ready for fire. We're gonna go through the steps of priming the oil, making sure we have fuel pressure, all that stuff, no leaks, all that. We're gonna be using B18 injectors. These came out of my Civic. These are the stock injectors. They should work just fine. They're 240cc. He's going to need some kits, the filters and the O-ring kits. But other than that, should be all set. He's got ARP bolts here for the flywheel and for the pressure plate. We're going to be throwing those in with the ACT clutch that we have going in it. It's a used ACT clutch, but we're not going to worry about that. That's the same clutch I had. We got the Vape Queen over there. Look at him. Look at him. Do some crowds, bro. Some clouds. The serious look. But that wraps it up for the video today, guys. I hope anything was that I showed in the video was informational. If you have any questions, please comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, guys.